today's session on Global Horizons Navigating Success in Study Abroad Journey. I am Abhijit from Student Placement Council at IIT Madras, and you all will have me as the host for today's session. Today, we have the pleasure of welcoming Manav, a dynamic individual with a diverse skill set and a strong academic background. Manav has completed Bachelor's in Computer Science and Engineering at Chennai Institute of Technology alongside the BS degree program at IIT Madras. Manav's journey extends beyond academia, having excelled in various leadership roles such as House Secretary for the Corbett House. His professional experience includes roles such as Research Assistant at Chennai Institute of Technology and as an Associate Educator at Beyond School, where he taught coding and science to middle schoolers. Furthermore, he has also contributed significantly to academia with publications in reputed journals and active involvement in synopsism and outreach programs. Manav is just not a passionate learner, but also a proactive leader with a vision to drive positive change throughout technology. Today, he will share his journey and strategies that led to his acceptance in 7 prestigious universities in the US, with exceptional GRE and IELTS scores of 324 and 8.5 respectively. He will also provide valuable tips and guidance on acing study abroad plans from application processes to excelling in standardized tests. So without any further ado, let's start this insightful discussion with Manav as we explore the global horizons navigating success in study abroad. Over to you, Manav.
Hello, hi guys. And thank you, sir. Thank you, Abhijit, sir, for those words. Okay, so yeah, let's just start. Give me a minute, I'll share my screen. Yes. I hope I am visible. My screen is visible and my audio is also clear. Yes.
Your screen is still not visible, Manav. I think it's.
Oh, 1 second. Um, is it visible now?
Yeah, it is visible.
Yes. Okay. Okay, yeah. So as sir said, we'll just be talking about my journey, and then I'll also be opening the floor for questions because when I 1 year back when I was in your position, I had a lot of questions and a lot of doubts. So I have made this presentation in such a way that we would have a lot of time for the questions. So hope you all will be interactive and just ask whatever you feel like. I would just like to start by asking one question. If you could just simply respond to the chat. Where are you in your study abroad journey currently? Like, is most of the population on this webinar already have they already decided that they want to study abroad, or are you all just exploring options? So, can I please get those answers in the chat? Exploring, okay. Okay, okay. So we have a mixed audience. It is partly for those who have decided and are working towards it, and partly those who are also exploring all routes. Okay, fine. So yeah, so the contents for today's presentation are simple. I'll just talk a little bit about myself and my university list. What universities did I apply to and why? Then I'll also talk about how to choose the correct course, correct university, and the correct country. So the where and what. Then we will have a small intro into the tasks. So what are the different tasks that we need to do as a part of our study abroad journey? And then the timeline, when to apply, when to prepare for the exams, all of that. And finally, we'll have a lot of Q&A. Okay, so quickly going into this. So yeah, what you see on my screen is my sort of a resume, I would say. So you can just have a look at it. And also something which I've not added here is that I'm currently in my diploma level. So I'm on track to complete my diploma in programming from IIT. and will be starting next with my diploma in data science. And yes, one question which I am sure a lot of you would be having is, how did my BS degree help me in my study abroad journey? So yes, in fact, one university in their acceptance email had even written about our program, and they were curious and they were very encouraging to see this. They said that because I was shuffling 2 degrees and also interested in studying further, they were very impressed. And so yes, having this in our portfolio does help. So just getting that out of the way right at the start. Yeah. So my test scores, as Avijit sir already said, I have a 324 in GRE, and I also have an 8.5 in IELTS. So coming to the academics, I've just completed my bachelor's in engineering in computer science with a CGPA of 8.9, and in the BS degree, I have a current CGPA of 7.8. Sorry for that. So the experience which I hold currently is 6 months of SD internship, 1 year of research assistantships, and one published paper. Yeah, going to the co-curriculars, as I said, Corbett House Secretary for the previous term. And also I've acted as the core committee head for my symposium in my day college. Okay, so this here is my university list. And again, if I could just go to the chat box now, how many of you have already started looking out at different universities? Do you even recognize these names, or are they something new and you do not know them? So, say yeah, okay. We have one person who recognizes these universities, but yeah, as there is a mixed audience, it would not be very obvious for everybody, because even when I was in this stage, there were a lot of universities and they were all new names. So it was a lot to take in at once. So I too had my problems recognizing universities, even knowing the names, even pronouncing the names correctly. So there was a little bit of problem in that, but that gets sorted as you go. As you see those names again and again, you recognize them. So yeah, admits I have from Northeastern University, New York University, Stony Brook, University at Buffalo, NJIT, Drexel, and a few more. Out of these, I've selected Stony Brook University, and I would be going there for my master's in computer science this fall. So I've chose Stony Brook University because of their great research background. Being a public university, it has a lot of funding and a lot of research activities which go on there. And again, coming to the rejects, because you always have to give both sides of the coin. Because as you can see, I have rejects from Purdue, UT Austin, Cornell, and UC Irvine. So these are all very prestigious universities. So I applied to them half knowingly that I would probably get a reject, but it was still worth a shot. So yeah, these are my rejects and these are the admits. Okay. Yeah, moving on to this slide where we talk about the selection of the right country, the right university, and the right course. Out of all these three, it is my perspective that the right course matters the most. But when I was researching and I was learning about all of this, many people suggested that the right country is one of the most important factors which plays a role in your future prospects. So again, also depends on what you exactly want to do. If you want to pursue a PhD or go into the research and academia domain, then it is slightly different. Or else if you want to look for a job right after your master's, then the factors again change. Yeah. So choosing the right country, there are major factors of how to select the right country. Is that first we obviously have to look at the growth trajectory of the country itself and their prospects. So how many jobs are opening up in the country, or in the field specifically in which you want to target. So that is one major number which we should look at. And also about the visa rules and the student friendliness. Because many countries, they do not allow you to work after studying. They expect you to finish your master's degree and just pack your bags and go back home. So in such a case, you would be spending a lot of money, but you will not have a solid plan to get a return on that investment. So those countries are usually not preferred because many other countries, such as say Australia started giving us 5-year permits to work there after study. Previously, it was 2 years, but they now extended it to 2 plus 3, which is 5 years now. So these kind of things are something we should understand before we choose the right country we want to go to. And also, some countries have their solid background in a specific domain. Say, for example, Germany is very well known for mechanical, so it's a no-brainer. And yeah, those factors also come into play. The final factor I would say is the cost of attendance and the return on investment. So US is generally very cost intensive. So it would also be one of the most cost intensive countries to study abroad. But having said that, the return on investment is also very high. So the average salary for a software developer in the US, a fresher right after graduation school, that is after masters, is somewhere around $90,000, which I would say is 75 lakhs per year in INR. So this amount of money is pretty good. Uh, yeah, the number sounds very big, I know. But when you also see how much you're paying, you will end up paying anywhere between 40 lakhs to 70 lakhs INR to study for 2 years. So you can get your money back, whatever you've invested in 2 or maximum of 3 years, provided that you get a good job and you stay employed. So in the current scenario, that is a very muddy situation, but let's not go there right now. Okay. And coming to the right university. So after having decided which country you want to target, then comes the university. US has more than 5,000 universities, and out of these 5,000, only 200 or 250 of these are actually worth studying because we going from a different country, we also have a lot of other burden and other factors which we have to take care of. So those other 4,800 universities, they are simply not worth it. So you also have to select the right university very carefully because this plays a very, very big role in how your entire journey and your entire future is mapped out. So one factor is the location. Uh, in the software domain or in the domains which our degree pertains to, data science and IT. So there are two major regions. One is the East Coast and the other is the West Coast. So the East Coast region is mainly comprised of New York and the surrounding regions because of Wall Street. So there are a lot of financial companies who would readily hire any good data scientist or anybody who has a good background in data. And then there is the West Coast. West Coast, as we all obviously know, we have California, we have the Silicon Valley. So that is also one very, very big hub for IT. And most of the universities in that region, these regions, both the East Coast and the West Coast, they see a lot of people going there to study and also a lot of people getting jobs. Again, this is if you want to work right after you finish your masters. But in many cases, we also have people who want to research, who want to go into teaching or get a PhD. So the location does not matter that much for those students. What matters is your research prospects in the university itself. And then again, coming to the track record and placement stats, again, this is very something which we all know of. Any good university should have a good track record of all their students learning something valuable and also being able to put that learning into their work. Also, one more caveat here. The placement stats, when I say that, US does not have a concept of placements. So no university in the US would guarantee you a placement, or they would even invite uh, companies to give them on-site placements or campus placements. So we always have to only look for jobs on our own. They will definitely help you out. They will help us in our resume building and in strengthening our profile. But this concept of placements where the universities directly communicate with the companies and bring them on board, that does not happen there. So when I say placement stats, it is not how good the university is actually, how good the university is in roping in these companies, but it actually means how good are these students there. The students going there, usually the cohort, you can say that a rough number of around 80% or 90% if they get placed in a good company after their graduation, then you can say that, okay, this university has a good track record and we should maybe look at it. Compared to, say, some university where only 50% of the students studying got a good job after their masters. And yeah, the right course, this is something not which many people have, a good thought about. So the right course, they simply do something for the UG, which they would have selected when they were in their school time. So they go ahead with some degree and they just go on to pursue that in their masters as well. That approach is, I would say, nonsensical, because you always need to have an interest in the subject you're studying. UG was also okay because you can just study and get by with it somehow. But when you go for graduation school, that is for masters, the game is totally different. Only if you have a good interest, you would be able to grasp the things going on, because there is no spoon feeding again. So you have to proactively go and get whatever you want. So an interest in the subject or in the domain is very, very crucial. Only if we have that, we can actually survive in that scenario. And then again, the demand and the pay level of the jobs you get after that. So there are many people who opt for computer science, say for example, but if in case they do not get computer science, they also have a backup plan of say data science or computer engineering. So these students, they usually see that, okay, computer engineering is somewhat related to computer science. So, okay, let's not, why not do that if I do not get computer science? But what I have found out in research that I have personally done is that the salaries for a computer science graduate and a computer engineering graduate, they vary a lot in the US. So always make sure to see that even though you are in the correct domain which you want to study in, also make sure that your degree and the courses and the subjects you'll be studying, they are also something with the industry values. And finally, future proofing your degree is something which I do not have to say much about. With evolution of AI and all these Gen AI tools, so we have to make sure that we study something which has very good prospect of returning the investment which we put in. Okay. And here I have a very subtle checklist of what are the things which we need to have in order to ace admission into a very good university. So I have list down 7 things here. The first is the GRE and IELTS score. So GRE is something which is gradually being not taken into consideration by universities. Having said that, more than 50% of the universities still look for a GRE score mandatorily, but this number was 90% maybe 7 or 8 years ago. So it has a gradual decline. But if you're looking to go abroad in maybe say 1 or 2 years, then yes, GRE is still a significant factor for you. But further than that, if you are just in your first year and you still have 3 years before you study abroad, then GRE may not play that big of a factor then. So yeah, the GRE, it tests your quantitative skills and your verbal skills. It's basically an aptitude test. So that is something which is given very much of importance in some schools. And then there is the IELTS or the TOEFL. The IELTS or TOEFL is just simply an test of your English language. Because you're going to an English speaking country, we need to show them a certificate that, okay, I can understand classes when they're taken in English, and I can also survive in an English speaking country. So IELTS is so the IELTS score, it is not something like how we look at our CGPA and our marks. It is just a basic cutoff. So if you clear that cutoff, then you're good to go. And then yeah, coming to the CGPA in university, 2 things here. The university matters a lot. So if you're studying from a tier 1 or tier 2 university, which the USA university recognizes, then that plays a major role. As I said, our BS degree from IIT Madras, we all have the tag of IIT Madras. So the university in US, the admission committee who look at our resumes, they instantly understand and they recognize the name IIT Madras. But say, for example, if you have XYZ college, they that extra bonus points, those brownie points, you may not get. Yeah, and your CGPA, of course, a good CGPA is obviously needed. Currently, for computer science degrees, A good CGPA is somewhere between 8.5 to 9.5. That is what is the average profile CGPA, and you need to make sure that at least slightly above this to have a advantage in your profile. But in case you don't have that, because the CGPA cannot be altered very easily. Once you have done your course, you have halfway through, it's not very easy to just change your CGPA significantly. So we have something else which we can work on, which is the SOP and the LOR. The SOP is the statement of purpose, and this is one document which plays a vital role. It is just a simple essay which you write. So the universities, different universities have different criteria on how you have to write them. Some have a word limit, some have a page limit. Some say no limits, you can just write how much ever you want. Okay, so they'll basically ask you a few questions or give you a very open-ended question, asking you why you want to study masters, why are you interested in this domain. So it's almost like an interview, but instead of doing it face to face, you type it out and you send it to them. So this might seem like a very trivial thing, but SOP is the number one factor which universities in the US look for. A good SOP can get you even into Cornell, and a bad university can get you rejected from a mediocre university, even if your other profile is very good. So make sure that you spend extra time on your SOP and do not compromise on that. And then coming supplementary to that is the LOR, the letter of recommendation. Letter of recommendations are usually given by anybody who you have worked with. So your college professors, if you have work experience, then the manager or your supervisor at your workplace. These kind of people will write you an LOR. So this LOR is something which corroborates your SOP so that the university can understand that okay, this guy has actually done some work and he has something special which the others should do not have, and I should maybe give him an admit. Yeah, and then coming to the projects. So again, you need to have good projects in your respective domain because unlike undergrad, the master's course is not something like you just write some entrance exam and you get into it. Because undergrad is your starting, but your master's is not a starting degree. It is something which you've already spent 3 to 4 years learning. So you need to have a good background and a solid foundation for the universities to feel confident in giving you an admit so that you can continue your studies further. So projects, research experience, and work experience, they all lie in the same bucket where you need to have something good which attracts the universities towards your profile. And again, skills and certificates in the same domain. And one caveat here, the work experience does not apply to anybody. I am a fresher. I have just completed my bachelor's and I'm going for my master's directly. So I do not have the component of work experience, and that is completely okay. Uh, if you have work experience, then they would look for what kind of work you did and how significant your work was. But if you do not have, they would focus mostly on your CGPA and your test scores. Okay, so I have a general timeline here of when to apply to the university. There are 2 or 3 major cycles in which admissions occur in the US. So these are fall and spring. So the fall cycle, the classes start somewhere in August, July or August. So and admissions for this, they close applications for the admission. They close in January itself. So you have around 6 or 7 months of time where you cannot even apply actually. So applications close in January. Again, this depends on the university. Some universities keep it open even up till June, while some close it in December itself. So you always need to look at the universities you are targeting and have the definite timelines given by them. But the general theme which they all follow is that uh, if your classes start in August, they would close applications in January or February, and you need to have all of your items ready by January. So all of these items which I said, you need to provide the university with all of these, whatever proof you have for them. Say for your GRE, you have your test scores. For the CGPA, you need to get a transcript from your school, from your college. The SOP, you need to type it out. You need to get the LOR sent from the recommender directly. All of these need to happen before these January or February deadlines. And even before you do this, you need to decide on what university you're going to. So I have actually spent my last 1 to 1.5 years of my time researching and working on this. So I will be flying out in August, and I started it in February of last year. So February 2023 is when I started preparing for my GRE and IELTS. That is also when I started looking for universities and researching about them side by side. And yeah, from February to August, it's close to 1.5 years. So this gives me ample time to do all of my works. But if you say, you're in a time crunch and you are just starting now, 9 to 10 months is something you can work with. This is a minimum requirement. You need at least 9 months to uh, give enough time and do justice to your application. So first, it starts with preparing for GRE. That is 9 months. When it says 9 months before, it's 9 months before your applications close. So say from when February or March is when your applications close for the universities you are looking for. You have to go back 9 months from then, and you have to start preparing for the GRE that time. Say side by side, you can also look at universities. You can shortlist universities so that you understand what kind of universities you want to go to. What is the GRE scores which they need? What is their cutoff? What kind of profiles actually gets admitted into them? All of this you can start doing, and you would have around 4 to 5 months of preparation for the GRE and IELTS or TOEFL, whichever you're giving. Okay, so I'll just finish this. The GRE and the IELTS and TOEFL, they're just two different English language tests. TOEFL is conducted in the partnership of Cambridge and sorry. TOEFL is conducted by ETS, which is the same company which organizes GRE, whereas IELTS is an exam which is conducted by Cambridge. Okay, so you can give either. The university does not have any kind of requirement that you only have to give the TOEFL exam or you only have to give the IELTS exam. There's also another exam coming up, which is the Duolingo test. So Duolingo, the app where we learn languages, has also started the testing services. So they also have a English language test of their own. So that is also gaining popularity and is being accepted by a few universities. But majorly, if you want to be safe, you either take the IELTS or the TOEFL. So yeah, you would have around 4 to 5 months for preparing for GRE and IELTS TOEFL. So once you're done with that, you give the test, you get your scores. And again, I told you that you also start shortlisting at this time, right? But when you get your GRE scores, the shortlisting which you did earlier may or may not be relevant because you would have expected, say, a score of 315, and you would have done your shortlisting accordingly, saying, okay, if I have a score of 315, I have a good chance of going into these universities. But after you write your GRE and you get your result, say, unfortunately, for some reason, you scored lower than that. You scored maybe 305 or 310. Then, although it's only a difference of 5 to 10 marks, it plays a very major role. The universities which you were targeting earlier may not make sense now because the chances of you getting an admit there have drastically reduced. The same thing goes on the other side as well. You expected 315 and you got, say, 325 or 330. Then it does not make sense applying to these universities because you can even get better universities now. So you again have to look at the shortlist which you've made and finalize your shortlist at this time. 4 months before your application, you have to uh, start from scratch again. Just look at all the universities, decide on a final university list which you will be applying for. And once that is done, you can start working on your SOP and LOR. So the SOP LOR, there are many services online which they charge money, but they give you the SOP. I will definitely not recommend that because the statement of purpose, it's almost like a personal interview. When the university wants to interview you, only you can give the correct answers because the questions on the SOP, they are going to be personal and they will ask you why you want to do this degree, what motivates you to do this degree. But any online service or any consultancy service, they would simply give you a template, which is the same template is being used by many students to write their SOPs. So I would always suggest you to do it on your own so that you can actually convey what you want to say to the university and they can understand you better. So yeah, once the SOP LOR is done, you can finalize the universities, send your documents to them, and also pay the application fees. A good practice to do is to do this 1 month before the applications close, because some universities you might have some problem in the application fee where you've paid them and they haven't received it properly. So you'll have to send them an email, resolve that issue, or just anything could happen. They maybe did not get your documents on time, or some professor did not submit the LOR to the university. All of that can happen. So it's best if you have at least 1 month of grace period before the applications close. So yeah, this is the general timeline. And now I directly jump into the Q&A. Let me look at the chat. Okay, I have one question here. Which one is better, IELTS or TOEFL? So, Biswajit, as I already said, there is no sense of better or preferred exam. They both only test your English language skills. Uh, Although the testing methodology is different, in the end, they will only look at how good you perform in your English. Okay. So, universities do not have a preference. They are okay with either. And from the student's perspective, which is easier, which is harder, that also does not matter because mostly they are in the same range. But I actually gave my IELTS exam. The reason I did that was IELTS was slightly cheaper than TOEFL, so that was the only reason why I gave IELTS. But otherwise, difficulty level and university preference, they are the same. Doesn't matter. Things included in the SOP. Okay. So I have a question here. What are the things that should be included in the SOP? So this is a very specific question. Every university has their own SOP requirement. Some universities ask for an SOP which is under 250 words. 250 words is just one single paragraph. You cannot even fit half of your resume into it or half of your experience into it. So some universities have that, whereas some universities say write at least 2 pages, which is 2000 words. Write at least 2000 words in your SOP where you talk about everything. So what should be included in the SOP? This is usually given by the university itself. They give you the question, they give you a question which you can answer in the form of the SOP. And based on that, you have to go. But the general things you include are what kind of experience you have. You start with saying what is your motivation to actually do a master's degree. So that is one thing you start with. And then you say how do you have good knowledge or good foundational skills to make sure that you will do good in your master's journey. So those are the two major things which every university will ask. Other than this, some might even ask for what are the charity works or NGO works you have done, what kind of experience you have you ever helped a friend in need? That is also one question which I uh, had to answer in an SOP. So that depends on university. But again, yeah, the major things are your experience and why do you want to do a master's. These are the two major things which every SOP does cover. Okay, totally unknown about which universities to apply for, which ones are more easy to crack, and how to filter. Okay, so yeah, university shortlisting is a very, very big task. It took me around 3.5 to 4 months before I was confident in my choices that, okay, I'm applying to a right set of universities. So I can understand, Aryan, I can understand how you feel like, how do you even gauge them? This university, the name sounds good, but how do I even get data if it is actually a good university? Or is it worth even going to? So there are a lot of sites for this. There are a lot of factors again. One, you have to check the rankings. There are many different companies which audit these universities. And how in India we have the NIRF ranking, which is the National Institute. Yeah, sorry, I do not know the full form for NIRF. But yeah, NIRF is a organization, government body, which audits the universities, the colleges in India, and gives a ranking. Similarly, you have many different companies which do the same work in the US. One is QS, and then you have Times Higher Education. You have many other companies which do this. US News is one. Okay, so you can look at these rankings to get a rough idea, but don't just go only on rankings. Also understand what kind of profiles are getting selected there, admitted there. Okay, so for this you can use LinkedIn. So you just simply go to LinkedIn and type whatever course you want to do, what university, and then just hit enter. You would see the people who are actually studying there. So based on this, you can get a general idea on the cohort. You can also DM them and ask them what kind of profile they have, what is their test scores. So that will give you an idea of how easy a university is to crack. Okay. And one more thing is you can take help of consultancy services. They usually have a database of what kind of profile got an admit where, because they have a lot of students working with them or who have taken their services. So they use this database to judge a university and basically say if this university is something which is easy for you or difficult. There are also online tools which do this for free. So once I'm done with all of the questions, I'll just search for that link and I'll put it in the chat box. So do look out for that, Aryan. Okay, next question. Which country is better to do masters in this field? Rahul, by in this field, which field do you mean exactly? Okay, Tarun says, at on securing admissions to such prestigious universities. My question is pertaining to the LOR. Did you had any recommendations from IIT Madras, or did you manage it through your offline college? Okay. I did reach out to our POD team at IIT Madras, but I realized then that IIT that does not give you LOR. They do not give you letter of recommendation. They only give you some other letter, which is actually that letter will state what all courses you've studied and what GPA you had in that. So it is very fact-based letter, and they do not actually type out a LOR for you. So no, I did not have any LORs from IIT Madras. I had it from my college and from my internship spaces. One was from my internship manager, one was from the professor under whom I did my research assistantship, and third was from my department HOD. Okay. While getting a job in USA, does university prestige matter? Yes and no. If you are in the top 20 universities, which is the Ivy Leagues, if you have an admit from them or if you have a degree from them, then it matters way more than anything else on your profile. Just the tag of, say, you study from Harvard or from MIT, that tag is enough to, get you a job anywhere. But below these top 20 or top 25 universities, it's all the same. You could have a degree from the 30th rank university and you could have a degree from the 100th rank university. That does not matter to the employers. They only look at your skills. So if you crack and admit into the top 20, then yes, the university prestige does matter. But other than that, it does not matter that much because from what I have seen, talking to people on LinkedIn who are currently working there, people from UMBC, which is University of Maryland, Baltimore County, which is somewhere in maybe say 100 or 120th rank for computer science. They have been placed in Meta with a starting salary of $120,000. Whereas from another university, which I do not want to name, but that university is in the top 50. They are currently struggling in their placements. So it also happens that many times you would see that people from different universities with a very drastic gap in their rankings or in their prestige, they sit in the same workplace and get the same salary. So beyond that top 20, 25, it does not matter at all. Okay, so Rahul says data science. I have majorly looked into computer science, and that is the field I want to do my master's in. So I do not have enough information, Rahul, to answer your question. I'm sorry for that. I do not want to give you half-baked information. And yes, Gautam has said LOS. So yeah, a letter of support is the letter which IIT gives to you if you want to get that, but they do not give off LORs. Aryan says, I'm from EC background. Will it affect uh, my chances to pursue a master's? Some universities do not allow cross majoring because they are very some universities again, yeah, some universities do not allow this. They are very considerate about what have you studied in your undergrad and if you have the enough knowledge in that domain to work on in your masters. But having said that, again, some universities are also there which allow you to cross major if you have, say, work experience or if you have some certificates in the domain you want to pursue your master's in. So, Aryan, if you want to do CSE, it is possible, but you will have to work a bit harder because the pool of universities which you can apply for that is restricted now. So only maybe say 40 to 50% of the university will allow that. And also it will one suggestion, do some kind of a certification course, or if you can get maybe internship experience or work experience, that would definitely help the university in convincing that you deserve an admit despite having a different bachelor's degree. How many LORs are supposed to be submitted? The number of LORs again depends on the university. Some ask for two, some ask for three, some even ask for four. But the average number is three. Usually three LORs are what they ask. Two from your college, and if you have any work experience, then one from that. That is for fresh graduates. If you have a lot of experience, say if you've been working for 7, 8 years, then they ask you for two from the workplace and one from your college. Fee structure of entire MS program is any scholarship mechanism? Okay, two parts of this question. Fee structure for the entire MS program, again, depends on the university, depends on the course you're studying. But generally, if you're going to the US, you can expect a minimum cost of 40 lakhs INR. 40 lakhs INR is if you get into a public university. Public universities are basically, they are funded by the government. So the cost of education lowers there. So you can expect a total cost of 35 to 40 lakhs uh, at a very good public university. Whereas going into the private universities, they can cost you anything by around 55, 60, or even 70 lakhs. This is for computer science. It again changes course wise. If you want to do a medical degree, if somebody is from the medical background and are want to pursue, say, medical informatics or something like that, then the cost of the fee structure varies. That is very high. It is even double of what they charge for the computer science programs. So I would suggest you that you go onto the websites of the universities and look at the fee documents which they give out. But yeah, if you want to do a degree in, say, computer science or data science, 40 to 60 is a good ballpark. Does your 12th and 10th marks matter? Actually, no, because few universities, they did not even ask me for my marks. When we submit our application, we have to send a transcript of all the subjects we have taken in the bachelor's and all the GPAs semester wise. But there was no provision to actually even enter my 10th or 12th marks in that portal. So yeah, many universities do not even look at your 10th or 12th marks. So it does not play a big role. How can we get updated or notified about exam timing changes? Aryan, I'm not sure which exam you're talking about. If it is about the GRE or IELTS exam or the TOEFL exam, you have to book your slot, which is usually even 1 month before your actual exam. You'll book your slot, so you'll know which timing you're giving your exam. LOR from college professor is mandatory. That again depends on the university. Some universities say that you have to give at least one LOR from your academic background. So when you say academic background, it could be a professor, it could be a researcher, a PhD researcher, or it could be your HOD, it could be your principal, anybody from your college. That is valid, but it is not a hard requirement. It's only a recommendation in most universities. So if you've been working for a long time, then you can maybe get all three LORs or all two LORs from the workplace itself. Can you please share your social profile link? Okay. Yeah, it's actually on the screen. I would also type it out here so that, yeah, please let's connect. If you have any questions further, or if you come up with a question later on, feel free to reach out. I would be happy to help you.
Hi, Manav. I
My
guess I
LinkedIn is,
have some few questions.
yeah, sure.
So I have few generic questions only. First is how did you manage your time effectively while balancing academics, extracurriculars, and exploration, application on this?
Okay. Initially, I faced a lot of difficulties because I did not have any experience in multitasking so much, because there were like 5 or 6 things which I had to do in one single day. Usually, when I work, I sit at something for maybe say 8 or 10 hours and I finish that work. But when I started with this, the university deadlines were coming in. I had to study for my GRE. I had to prepare my SOP. So all of these tasks I had to do in parallel. So it was like 1 hour I'm doing some work, the next hour I shift to the next task, then the next. So you have to do a lot of multitasking. So you can say I learned that the hard way, because the first 1 or 2 months I struggled a lot trying to even catch up and do all of the work in a timely manner. But I just got used to it and I'm doing it now.
That's nice. I have one more question. The thing is, what advice would you give to us who are considering studying abroad but are unsure about leaving their comfort zone?
Okay. So yeah, studying abroad will definitely break everybody's comfort zone, whoever is going, because one, we have a lot of cultural shifts, and two, we are paying a lot of money. So usually this money is, say, financed via a loan, or even if you have personal money which you can use for your expenses, it is a very big amount. So we have that a slight guilt, and we also have this cultural shift and this new routine of cooking for yourself, cleaning your room, cleaning your home, and also studying. So it is definitely something not which breaks your comfort zone very badly. But how I got around it is I see what happens after I finish my degree. So I am eyeing that salary, that very good lucrative packages, and that somehow consoles me to get out of my comfort zone.
I think all the questions has been done. Anyone had some questions? And also you ask us to remind for some link.
Yeah, I would just go search for that. I have one more question in chat. I'll just read that out. Are data science grads considered the same as CSE grads when applying for masters? Like, is it more difficult for electrical engineers to do masters in CSE and they need to explain this switch? Yes. So when you're cross majoring, the university, you need to convince them on why you actually want to cross major. You cannot simply say them that the salary is good, so I want to get into this domain. That does not work. You have to show a passion for the domain. Say, for example, you're switching from ECE to computer science, then you can never mention that, this has good job prospects or good salaries. You will only have to say why you like studying computer science, what subject in computer science interests you, what do you want to do with this knowledge. Say, for example, I want to leverage ML and AI for so and so project, which I've already worked with in my EC background. So I want to take it to the next level, and I realized that this can only happen if I have computer science knowledge as well. So you only have to sell it to the universities based on why you want to do the course. You cannot give materialistic answers. It always has to be something which you're passionate about. So yeah, there will be a slight difficulty in explaining your shift, but it is doable. Okay, I would just now look for that link, which is that free portal where you can look for the right set of universities which would work for you. It was called Select Right, if I'm not wrong. I am just Googling that. Let me get the link and I will just send it in the chat. So this link, it asks this tool, it asks a lot of questions about your profile. And based on the answers you give them, they take previous data and just do basic analysis around what kind of profile actually got selected in that university. And using that, they give you a chance, okay, saying that, okay, this is a safe university. You can apply to this and there's a good chance of you getting an admit here. Or say this university is something which is ambitious, you may or you probably won't get an admit here. Okay, I have the link here. I would just put it in the chat box. Okay. Yeah. Select right is the name. Select by grad right is the name of that tool. So this is a free AI powered tool which you can use and understand what kind of uh, chances do you have in a specific university. There are also other tools, something like this. You can simply go to ranking pages. Yeah, I'll also list that out so that it is helpful if somebody wants it later. Uh, Okay. These are the three major companies or three major organizations which work towards giving you universities ranking. And all these three are considered to be reliable and respectable source of information. So these rankings is something you should have a look at. And again, also see if, although the university is good, just see your chances of getting into it. So use both of these parameters to actually determine if you should apply to the university. And Kuldeep is asking for my socials link. I have sent it in the chat. I will just do that again. So my LinkedIn is in the chat now. Yeah, feel free to connect. Uh, okay, Biswajit, when I said top 20, I meant top 20 in the USA. So the top 20 in the university is usually, it's a very known list. So Harvard, Stanford, Cornell, MIT, Columbia, these kind of universities which you have Even if you're not interested in studying abroad, you would have heard these names somewhere, right? So these universities are the top 20 which I was referring to. This is the top 20 in the USA. Majorly selecting universities are mostly depending after you get your GRE TOEFL. Aryan, you can start your shortlisting based on a ballpark of where you expect your GRE marks to be in. But again, you can only finalize them after you write the exam, right? You never know if you would get good marks or if you would get slightly lower marks than what you expected. So you can shortlist the university, what kind of university you want to go in. But before you finalize, I would suggest that you have your report card in hand so that you can corroborate the two and make sure that it is actually a good fit. Northwestern. Okay, Biswajit, Northwestern is indeed a good university, but I would not put it in the top 20. So it is definitely in the top 75. I'm not sure of the exact ranking for Northwestern University, but yeah, it is a well-renowned university and it is worth applying. That again depends on your portfolio profile. If you have, say, very good background, then if you can even get in the top 20, then Northeastern would not be a good school for you. So yeah, it is majorly profile dependent and how you want to look at it. So
Thank
that
you.
would be my time, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
No, I'm done. You can.
Yeah. Thank you, Manav. Like as we conclude today's session, I want to extend our sincerest gratitude to you for sharing your invaluable insights and experiences with us. The journey serves as a beacon for inspiration for all of our aspiring students looking to embark on their study abroad adventures. And as a getaway from this session, success in study abroad journey is not just about academic prowess, but also about resilience, determination, and the willingness to explore new horizons. With your tips and guidance, I am confident that each of you, those who attended the session and uh, seeing this session as a recording, can navigate the complexities of the process and excel in your endeavors abroad. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys for giving me your time, and hope I was helpful. Hope I could give you good knowledge. Thank you.